Marshal Commander, the highest obtainable rank in the Grand Army of the Republic. Only the most skilled and brightest clones could make it this high in the chain of command. But how were Marshal Commanders so good? Well, I'll be explaining that, as today we're ranking the clone Marshal Commanders. Unfortunately, there aren't many confirmed Marshal Commanders, but if they're in charge of a full corps of clones, then they can make it on this list, since that's what Marshal Commanders are. Leaders of corps. But before we begin, make sure to let me know who your favorite commander is in the comments. Then at the end of this video, let me know who your favorite on the list is. To start this video, we have to understand what determines the best Marshal Commander. Every Marshal Commander was put through basic clone training, team management courses, tactic and strategy courses, all special forces training, various types of combat training, the Alpha 17 program, training to lead a corps, and of course, specialized Marshal Commander training. Some commanders took it a step further and took more unique courses, but that will be explained throughout the video. Leadership, combat skill, battle IQ, and of course, importance to the overall war efforts will determine who the best Marshal Commanders are. I'll be digging into legends and canon for this list, because some of the best clones have been forgotten through new canon. So, let's begin. Number 9. Starting off this list, we have Commander Doom. Now, Doom isn't confirmed to be a Marshal Commander, but he serves directly under Jedi Generals Tiplar and Tip Lee, so we can assume he's at a Marshal Commander level and in charge of a corps. He doesn't have many showings, but he did fight in the Battle of Ringo Vinda, where the Republic forces were to take command of Admiral Trench's station and either capture or kill him. The mission was a failure when Jedi General Tiplar was killed by CT-5385, Tup, of the 501st, when his inhibitor chip malfunctioned. Doom was a strategic and rational clone, ordering his men to advance forward with shields and not being ashamed of calling on the 501st for reinforcements. On top of this, he was a very compassionate clone, as we can see when the death of his Jedi General leaves him and his men mourning. Number 8. Next up on the list we have CC-3636, Commander Wolf. Now, the reason I'm putting Wolf on this list, even though we only see him at a battalion level, is because he is the right-hand man to High Council member Jedi General Plo Koon. So we can assume whatever corps the 104th belongs to, he probably commands in some way under Plo Koon. Even though Wolf is one of the clones with the most showings, he's simply not better than the rest of the clones in my honest opinion. He's more so operated on search and rescue missions, but he did his job well. He served on many deployments, such as Cormendi, Hissine, Korm, Kadavo, Obadiah, and so much more. Like Rex and Gregor, after the rise of the Empire, Wolf was able to remove his inhibitor chip and aid the Alliance to restore the Republic. Under the leadership of Plo Koon, Wolf became a very caring, calm, and professional clone, though he was quick to be annoyed. Number 7. CC-1004, Commander Gree. Serving under Jedi General Luminara Unduli and occasionally Jedi Generals Yoda, Gree was the leader of the 41st Elite Corps and the 9th Assault Corps. What made him unique from other commanders was how he was one of the smartest clone commanders in the Republic. Unlike most commanders, Gree actually seemed to put the well-being of his Jedi and brothers before the mission most of the time. But he still knew they were expendable, as we see in the Republic Commando 000 novel. On his free time, he studied planets and their aliens, which really left him with an advantage as a leader of a corps, as he always knew what he was getting him and his team into. He's no slack in combat either. We know he was a better marksman and a better hand-to-hand combatant than even the best Senate commandos. After all, he wiped the floor with Captain Argius. He was deployed to many dangerous worlds such as Ubafor, Geonosis, Dinlo, Christophsis, and most importantly, Kashyyyk, where he met his death at the hands of Master Yoda when Order 66 was issued. Guess you could say he was losing his head. Number 6. Now I know you'll all hate me for this one, but at number 6 we have CC-1010, Commander Fox. But when looking at Fox, he did have all the traits of a great Marshal Commander. He followed orders given to him without hesitation, showed some amazing combat skills and tactics, and didn't fear anything. We also have to assume he was extremely skilled, because no way would they leave him in charge of the Coruscant Guard, the same guys who protect Chancellor Palpatine, the other members of the Senate, and keep the Republic's capital planet safe, if he wasn't anything but top tier. Personally, when it comes to skill and strategy, I think he's a little higher on this list, right below number 3. He has some very great achievements during the Clone Wars, such as saving Senator Padme Amidala from the Hutt Crime Lord Zero and arresting him, willing to face a group of bounty hunters led by Cad Bane, and of course killing ARC Trooper 5s. And yes, I know everyone hates that he killed 5s, but hear me out. Fox didn't get to serve under a Jedi. He served under the Chancellor. So when the Chancellor gives him an order, he can't really question it in the slightest. He was ordered to take care of the fugitive that attempted to assassinate Palpatine and did his job. He actually even gave Fives the chance to drop the DC-17 before taking the kill shot to save himself and his men. If Fives had dropped it, I definitely believe Order 66 would have been prevented, and the Coruscant Guard, along with Fives, Rex, Anakin, and any other present Jedi, would have been able to figure out Palpatine's game and probably put a stop to it. Number 5. Now we're breaking into the top 5, and here we have CC-2224, Marshal Commander Cody. He's actually the first one on this list to be established as a Marshal Commander. It makes sense since he was the first clone with a name and played a relatively big part in Revenge of the Sith. Commander Cody was the leader of the 7th Sky Corps, and he served under Jedi General Obi-Wan Kenobi. He was a close friend to his Jedi General, and he was a very by-the-books type of clone. Cody was probably in the top 3 most strategic clones in the Grand Army, only really outclassed by 1st place and 2nd place on this list. He served on numerous planets, and definitely proved he deserved to be in the top 5. Cody has so many deployments, it'd take a while to name all of them, and then it'd take even more time to show all of his showings. So his most notable deployments were Christophsis, Rishi Moon, Ryloth, the Second Battle of Geonosis, Felucia, Lola Sayu, Umbara, Anaxis, Urbana, and of course Utapau, where he was forced to execute Order 66 on Obi-Wan. In Legends, we know he loyally served the Empire and hated normal human stormtroopers. But in canon, we will see what happened to him in the Bad Batch Season 2. We were actually supposed to see him in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but that never happened. So we'll have to wait to see where his story takes us. Number 4. The first clone commander on screen, but the 4th on this list, we have CC-6454. Wait, no, that's right. His number was retconned to CT-411. Commander Ponce. Now, it doesn't really make sense he has a CT designation instead of a CC designation, but that's not the point of this video. Commander Ponce served as the leader of the 94th Reconnaissance Corps under Jedi General Mace Windu. He served in the First Battle of Geonosis, where he organized the 91st and their special commando units for his Jedi General. He served on Ryloth and aided Cham Syndulla in retaking the city of Lasu and capturing Wat Tambor. His deployments didn't end here though. He also deployed to assault a repair station for Separatist forces, Juma 9 where he aided Obi-Wan Kenobi and Kit Fisto's forces, Bepor where he destroyed a secret weapon that could destroy suns, and Malastare where he discovered the Zillo Beast. Sadly, we don't know of any deployments after this, as he was captured by a group of bounty hunters after the Venator-class Star Destroyer Endurance crashed with him inside. He was shot in the head by Aurra Sing, then ejected into space, where his body probably floated forever, unless the Jedi took the time to recover him. Mace Windu, I'm looking at you. Better have taken that time. Number 3. Now we get to the top 3, and to start it off, we have CC-5052, Marshal Commander Bly. Bly was the leader of the 327th Star Corps and served closely under Jedi General Aayla Secura. Bly was one of the few clones who was truly explored during the Clone Wars and the Empire. During the Clone Wars, he stated to always put the mission first, even above his and others' well-being. So we can see he's cold and mistrusting at times, but we can also see he has a soft side. He's stated to be a little too close to Aayla Secura, implying some sort of romantic relationship. During his time in the Empire, we also see him work under Vader and assist in killing 2 Padawans. During his time in the Clone Wars, he definitely had some of the best showings, and through this he became one of my personal favorite clones. Bly also served on many of the most dangerous planets, Felucia being the main one. He served in the Battle of Quell, even battling all of the droids boarding, and the crash onto the planet of Maradon, where he, Aayla Secura, some 327th clones, Captain Rex, Anakin Skywalker, and Ahsoka Tano fought off even more droids. In Star Wars Republic issue 65, he also fought on New Halstis, proving he was even more fierce than the super commandos known as Mandalorian Protectors. In issue 69 of Star Wars Republic, he was deployed to Hanagur and survived a battle with Quinlan Voss, even managing to shoot him when he was moving faster than the eye could perceive. Bly almost killed Voss here too with his next shot if it wasn't for Aayla Secura saving him. But those are only a few of his major deployments. He had far more, and we can assume plenty of unnamed ones. He was one of the toughest clones in the galaxy. Number 2. Now we get into the top 2. These ones are really not debatable at all. They deserve these spots. They outclass the other commanders by a long shot. So at number 2 we have CC-8826 Marshal Commander Neo. Now, at first glance, Neo looks a little underwhelming. He's another reconnaissance clone, has a neat helmet, and drives a speeder bike. But believe it or not, Neo is more than just a cool helmet in a high rank. Neo was one of the first graduates of the Alpha 17 program. He also had one of the best scores, the second best actually, after only Marshal Commander Bacara. During his training, he developed a strong friendship with Bacara and even took after him, growing an extremely cold and harsh personality. He also had some of the most experience compared to other commanders, and on top of receiving the same training as them, he received training in reconnaissance, combat, and all sorts of vehicles. During the Clone Wars, Neo served on many Outer Rim planets, including Seleucami, the planet we saw him on in Revenge of the Sith. He served under Jedi General Adigalia, one of the few people he seemed to be close to other than Bacara, until she was killed by Savage Opress on Florum. He then served under Mace Windu and Stas Ali, the two remaining Jedi Generals of the 91st. And if you're wondering why he served under Mace Windu, it's because Neo was actually the replacement for Ponce after Ponce was killed by Aurra Singh. Eventually, he would end up killing Ali when Order 66 was issued. After Order 66, he served the Empire as one of its most loyal troops. He's skilled in ground combat, vehicle combat, all sorts of terrains, reconnaissance, and so much more on top of the basic Marshal Commander training. That's why he placed above so many. But there's one more. Number 1. Placing above all other Marshal Commanders is CC 1138 Marshal Commander Bacara. So right off the bat, every clone knows Bacara is the top dog. Leader of the 21st Nova Corps, also known as the Galactic Marines, he had a reputation as the most feared clone commander with the most feared clone unit under him. But why? Well, firstly, he did all the basic Marshal Commander training, but he surpassed Alpha 17 himself. After this, he received even more training before being personally trained by Journeyman Protector Court Davin. Soon after, Bacara learned all environmental stages of fighting, space, sea, land, everything a soldier needed to know. The training under Court Davin made him see himself as not only a soldier, but a lawman, a Journeyman Protector. Traditions, history, everything Court Davin had to offer, Bacara learned. Even though he received all this extra training, Bacara did become harsh and solitary as he felt different from the other clones. But he did eventually connect with Neo during training, and they became some of the best strategists in the Grand Army, as well as the best combatants. Every soldier within the Galactic Marines was expected to be perfect. Bacara even transferred them to another unit if they fell short. All of them were specifically trained under Bacara after graduating from their basic Camino training, creating one of the deadliest forces in galactic history. He and his men fought on Megiddo, lasting for 3 years, and debatably one of the most important and dangerous battles in the war. During the Battle of Megiddo, Bacara and his Marines assisted the 501st in Operation Hammertongue, the first step in creating the Death Star's super laser. This operation alone could be considered just as deadly as Umbara, and we all know how deadly that was. Bacara was also sent to serve in the Battle of New Born-Alex. While the Galactic Marines battled Mandalorians and droids, their weapons malfunctioned before completely failing. Due to this, Bacara, not seeing retreat or surrender as an option, ordered his men to tear apart every single droid and Mandalorian, which they did without hesitation, and even won the battle. Overall, Bacara and his men were some of the best warriors in galactic history and undoubtedly the best warriors in the Galactic Republic. Anyways, that's all for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Currently, the only clones confirmed to be Marshal Commanders are Neo, Bly, Bacara, and Cody, but we should assume the rest on this list are also Marshal Commanders because they lead corps and work closely to Jedi Generals. There's really nothing that contradicts them being Marshal Commanders. Once again, make sure to let me know in the comments who your favorite clone trooper on this list was, who your favorite clone trooper was before this, and I'll see you all in the next one. May the Force be with you.
Looks like we got ourselves a batch of shinies, Commander. It's shiny and new, just like you.
I have to admit that without the clones it would not have been a victory.